Pa is Tibetan. So karma means activity, and karma is the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva to fulfill the activities of the Buddha. So he represents Buddha. He is incarnation of the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva.
Karmapa was the first tulku of Tibet, a master who intentionally takes rebirth to carry mission across lifetimes.
One of the outstanding activity of the first Jawa Karmapa is he prophesied where he is going to be born next life. And then according to that, the second Jawa Karmapa was discovered, and the second Jawa Karmapa of the first Jawa Karmapa. So that way, in Vajrayana Buddhism, the reincarnation tulku precedent is started by Jawa Karmapa.
Unique among the thousands of subsequent lines of tulkus, the Karmapas are recognized on the basis of a prediction letter written by the Karmapa himself, describing the details of the next rebirth. In this way, all incarnations since the first Karmapa were discovered. His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, Ranjun Rigpe Dorje, was born in Tibet 1924. In 1959, when the Chinese invaded Tibet, he left the roof of the world with more than 100 followers and founded a new seat in India, Rumtek Monastery. Karmapa was instrumental in bringing Buddhism to the Western world. Not only did he send great masters like Akong Rinpoche and Chogyam Trungpa there, he himself visited and taught in Europe and the US. Following the 16th Karmapa's death in 1981, the search began immediately for the sacred prediction letter. But even before it was found, His Holiness the Dalai Lama had a prophetic vision of the next Karmapa's birthplace.
I got some kind of one dream. The location, the area where you see the present is the Karmapa is born. One valley is naturally the stones and the lawns, looks to say high altitude, and then facing the south, and there's some stream, small, beautiful streams. And that is the main sort of the picture. There was someone there and told me, actually, without his phone, there's someone, some source, telling to me, oh, this is the place where Karmapa is born.
Years had passed and still no letter had been found, until one day, Tai Situ Rinpoche, one of the 4 lineage holders, recalled a protection amulet given to him by the 16th Karmapa with the words, "This will protect you and someday be useful."
Late His Holiness gave me this protection pouch in early January 1981. And one day it was snake year. I opened that and I found an envelope, and the envelope have red ink letter saying that this should be opened in the Iron Horse year. And then I was very, very happy.
The letter described the location where the new incarnation was born, the nomadic livelihood of the people there, the year of birth, and the names of the parents. As predicted, a child was born in a nomadic community in the Latok region of eastern Tibet, born in the year 1985 to parents named Dundrup and Lolaga. His parents and neighbors reported that following his birth, a wide-ranging sound of a conch shell resounded for about an hour with no apparent source. This and other wondrous signs convinced the people in the area that this child was a very special one. On June 9, 1992, Situ Rinpoche and Gyaltsab Rinpoche informed His Holiness the Dalai Lama about the details of the discovery of the 17th Karmapa. On June 30th, His Holiness granted the official letter with his seal of confirmation, the Buktan Rinpoche, stating,
"The boy born to Karma Dundrup and Loga in the wood ox year of the Tibetan calendar identifies with the prediction letter left by the previous Karmapa and is hereby recognized as the reincarnation of the 16th Karmapa."
His Holiness the 17th Gyalvan Karmapa, Ogyen Trinlleya Dordje, was formally enthroned at Tsurpa Monastery, the original seat of the Karmapa in Tibet, on September 27, 1992. Two days later, the 7-year-old performed his first ceremony, the empowerment of Avalokiteshvara, received by an assembly of over 20,000 people. Karmapa's return brought new life to Tsurpa. The monastery had almost been completely destroyed by the Chinese. In 1985, renovations began under the guidance of Drupon Dechen Rinpoche. Karmapa grew up and received the traditional teachings that would prepare him to fulfill his role. However, the most important empowerments, transmissions, and instructions of his Karma Kaji tradition he could only receive from the main disciples of the previous Karmapa, who resided in India. And thus, in his early teens, the Karmapa laid plans for a bold escape from Tibet. Exactly at the turn of the century, the 14-year-old Karmapa eluded his guards and set off on an epic journey across the Himalaya.
On December 28, 1999, under the cover of a dark night, my senior attendant and I escaped from my monastery in Tibet and fled to India to seek refuge. After an arduous 8-day journey, we arrived at last in Dharamsala early on the morning of January. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the very embodiment of compassion, and he received me with his great love and affection. My joy knew no bounds.
His Holiness received refuge from the government of India in 2001 and presently resides in Gyuto Tantric College outside Dharamsala. Since arriving in India, Karmapa has maintained a rigorous schedule of Buddhist studies and has received the essential transmissions of his lineage. He also takes lessons in English, Korean, and Hindi, and joined His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the Mind and Life Conferences, a dialogue between Western sciences and Buddhist studies. 2006, he celebrates his 21st birthday with a large assembly of friends and followers from around the world. 2008, he embarks on his first journey to the West and visits the United States, where he is enthusiastically received. On his second journey to America in 2011, he participates in the Kala Chakra initiation, conducted by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Washington, D.C. Every year, he presides over the Kaji Manlam Chemno, the great aspiration prayer festival in Bodh Gaya. And so it is that in the very place where Buddha attained enlightenment 2,500 years ago, the activities of the Buddha continue. Karmapa uses the Mönlam to bring significant reforms to his own Karmakaji lineage, for instance in respect to equal education for nuns in the monastic training. But he also addresses many universal topics in public talks, in webcasts across the internet, and in the 2 books he has published. Out of compassion for animals, he tirelessly encourages vegetarianism, and he sees environmental protection and social activism as synonymous with Dharma practice. He looks deeply into the complex confusions of this modern age and offers solutions as to how we can all work together to make this world a better place. Because the future is now.
예스물리아들이 진제령원에 대해 지지단기 가수에 진제령 자와로디 에너지 최소 기르와 최소 토네 자와디다 최소 토는 영원히 가래 이민행에 개치슈디 안다지 이제 두름 이저지 반나야 렙데베 까만 붙이면 셰비는 개치슈디 른쉐이비네 디 나바 사바 체체 르다 그 지조다 참바 토네 에너지 가수에 지 최기 지 가수에 넘버 사브지的 넘주 사브지的 디펜도 그 가수에 그 세브지 뒤름 디밀이야 펜도 세브지 제거하디 랭게 차딩 메르스도스